for commonwealth, for common people. Through community, Mike Martin's you and me. So our enemies, through knowledge, commonwealth, common people, commonwealth, for common people, commonwealth, for common people, commonwealth, for common people. Talking mountains rose in the distance when we were expecting white and pearly gates. With Mike, we tell our stories, share our trades and housing.
What a nice song. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, and welcome you all to Commonwealth for Common Folks. Commonwealth for Common People, Commonwealth for Common Folks. Channel disclaimer, we do not offer investment advice, and we do not know anything. We can't even read, and this video should not be viewed by anyone ever. So don't even watch this. So if you're going to take advice from someone that could barely read, that's your problem. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, being part of the channel, and we got a lot to cover here tonight. Man, do we have a lot to cover tonight. There is a lot going on, and what is going on? Well, housing is skyrocketing. Quick mute the music quick for YouTube, says copyright infringement. No. This song was made for me, so nobody freak out. So the comments are already rolling nicely. We got Devin in the house, Mitch Madden in the house, Nitin in the house, Owen in the house, Nathan Maka in the house. And he's from Langley, BC, and wants to move out of Canada, thinking of going to Mexico. The problem is The problem is we're trying to live in Mexico as a Canadian. Are you Mexican background? Because the problem is if you try to live in Mexico as a Canadian, it's very hard. Like to buy property, it's hard to get anything there. Even if Canada adopted 10%, we wouldn't have any of these major issues we're having here with our complete buyout. Canada's suffering a major buyout here, and I forgot my round of applause at the beginning of the show. Had to throw that in right now. So, yeah, so there's lots going on. So,
Ric Flair!
It is Commonwealth for Common Folks. So, lots going on. So, guys, people are rolling into the, Canadian-born, really tough. There's not a lot of countries that take in Canadians that easy. It's very complex to immigrate anywhere. Even to the U.S., it's almost impossible unless you're bringing something over that's going to benefit the Americans. And it's tough. Trust me. I went through the whole U.S. process. Paid lawyers, did everything by the book. Then I went for my interview. Some lady told me, we're not looking for your kind right now. So, okay. It's their country, and people could do whatever they want in their country. And there's no questions, if, ands, or buts, or any more discussion about it. All right, guys, let's do a quick channel plug if that's okay with you guys. Then we're going to switch over to lots happening in Commonwealth for Common Folks today. So, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and set your reminders. This Saturday, Mike and the Night's going to be big. I smell war. Guys, things are really not looking good in a sense. All the pieces are moving towards war. I think right now we're in check. We're not in checkmate as of yet, but we've moved into check. And we got to see what the others are going to do or who the others are. I don't even know what side I'm on because I don't even know what the heck is happening because the media is distorting everything so dangerously. So here it is. This video's blowing up. Chinese buying up America. This video's, I don't get too many views on my videos, but this video is getting a lot of views from 6 hours ago. It has over 500 views. And I discussed AmeriFornia, but I just actually discussed the numbers. The numbers are there on graphs showing you how America now is going to be the new Canada, Australia, New Zealand. But the thing is, these Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK are already destroyed. There's no more wiggle room. But England has a great idea. I'm going to bring it up later, what England has planned for that. Guys, I need you guys to go ahead and please send me your show tips here on Instagram. People send it to me on my Facebook page here. But the problem is with my Facebook page is Facebook automatically removes the post, and it says that it's a dangerous post. So if you guys don't mind, don't send it to my Facebook here. Send it here to my Instagram. It's just easier for me to get your messages, okay? Also, don't forget Teespring, all kinds of cool stuff. And artbydano.com. Artbydano.com. Artbydano.com doesn't work for me. It's artbydano.net. But here it is, guys. If you want to check out your out of the ordinary cool sketches and drawings from Art by Dano. And guys, music by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Check him out. He's almost at 400 subscribers. Let's get him there, folks. And I want to thank Peter Leeds. Peter, you're probably not watching this, but that's okay. Thanks for the books, autographed books. We're going to be giving these books out on the show. We're going to get them on the show, and we're going to be giving a giveaway of autographed books. Upthinking. I'm almost done reading it. I know I've said that many times, but I'm going to get back to it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a lighter day tomorrow. Today was just super busy. So Peter Leeds, thank you so much. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to his channel. And don't forget to let him know that you came from the Mike Martin's channel. There's a link right there. Let him know. Let him know. All right, what is going on? Ooh, I forgot to change my background. That's still a Mike in the Night background. You know, sometimes I get super busy, right? And it gets really hard. With 3 kids, a family, home renovations, store business, trading stock. It gets a little bit overwhelming at times. And talking to friends on social media, in person, it gets pretty, but it keeps me going. It keeps me, like, not skinny, but I'm not turning into a tub of lard. You know what I'm saying?
Ric Flair! Woo!
So I'm not turning into a tub of lard, which is a very, very good thing. Also, let's get on. Let's get in some news here. We got a lot of stuff to cover, guys. So we're gonna take our time here. Owen sent me something from Reddit.com, I guess, Reddit.com. I don't really use Reddit because I can't even read. But anyways, something as strange is happening in the GTA and Canadian real estate market, and it isn't going to change. So I did a video actually talking about this the other day, how housing will never go down ever. And the reason why housing won't ever correct in Canada, well, it will. Eventually, they're going to be a new government administration that's going to say F everything and fix the problem. What's happening is Canadians are no longer in the running for real estate, property, all that stuff. That's for rich people that are coming to Canada. That's not for Canadian people. And I made a video the other day that housing will never go down. It will never find a correction. It will never come into line with people, average working citizens. Average working citizens are done. People are I did a video that more and more Australians are facing homelessness, and stuff like that is happening across the board. So basically, it says here something is rotten in the GTA. So number one, real estate and associated construction sectors are now the number one contributor to GDP. I covered that. We covered this years ago. A housing collapse would destroy the banking system. We all know that. Canadians own housing and they don't want to see prices come down. So the problem is housing's been going up since 2010 in Canada, like respectively going steady from 2010, from the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. The problem with that is we got a tiny teensy weensy problem. That was 11 years ago. People that were 15 now, they're 26. They can't get into the market and they won't get into the markets. So you see what I'm saying? So people that were 20 at the time, in 2010, they're now 31. They're not getting into the market. People that were 30 at the time, they're 41 now. They're not getting into the market. And they're moving back in with their parents. So that's what's happening. They're moving back in with their parents. And that's what's been happening. So here we go. And local policies, kowtowing to voters. Kowtowing, I guess kowtowing to voters have resorted to perverted policies that slow the supply of homes. So yeah, so people don't want to build more homes. The price of housing goes down. It won't. It's just going to stay more homes are going to stay empty. Now, realistically, the reason why homes are so expensive as they are is because of the amount of empty homes that are sitting empty. And that actually creates artificial shortages that makes housing ownership rich on paper, and it leaves people out of the market more and more impoverished, right? So this is a major issue we're dealing with here in Canada. Major. So there it is. Owen is saying, check out Daniel Formafist. I got to contact him. It's been a while. On the YouTube channel, he's putting together a documentary called Housing Only Goes Up, and he's interviewing a lot of people. That's good. That's good. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe I'll promote it here on the channel, his documentary, when it comes out. So here it is, guys. So from today's videos, guys, the other day's videos, I'm going to actually show you what videos I'm talking about. so you guys know what I'm talking about. So other videos here, Australia's, so there it is right there. Australia's forced into homelessness. Chinese buying up the USA. It's already been in Canada's finished. It's done. Bidding wars across America. Say hello to Amerifornia. Bidding wars crippling Canadian families. Major home renovation. That's from me. And then housing will never crash. Never. And there it is. Again, it's tied to our GDP. It's tied to everything. And it just keeps going and going. Housing videos going back for 10 years now. And discussing this issue that affordability is no longer on the table. And it's really scary when you have no place to lay your head because someone's got more money than you. They're going to outbid you. And parts like in Arizona, parts in Texas, Florida, they're saying, well, bidding wars is the new norm. It starts at this price and it bids up. But what about sending in an inspector, checking if there's any... No, it goes up, it bids up. Doesn't matter. The house could be a hole in the wall. It could be junk. It doesn't matter. The price goes up. It doesn't go back down after inspection. It goes up. So that's that. So people are talking about crypto discussion very big here in the comment section here. So there it is. That is what's happening there. So it's politically driven. It's too big to fail. So let's see what Better Dwelling has to say about Canada. Canadian real estate inventory surges as more sellers look to cash in on exuberance. So inventory is going up and people are trying to make some money and pay off some debts. BC's first-time real estate buyers dropped to the lowest rate in years. So first-time home buyers aren't getting into the markets anymore. This is old news. Old news. First-time home buyers are not getting in. And again, people that started watching my channel 11 years ago in 2010 when I was talking about the Olympics, housing needs to crash. There's no correction and it never crashed. Well, those people that were 15 and maybe 20 years old at the time, they're in their 30s now. And now they're emailing me today and telling me that, Mike, I used to laugh at you 10 years ago. I was laughing at you. I'm like, what an idiot. And now you were right. Now I'm in my 30s and my mom's moving into an apartment and I got nowhere to go. And that's happening. It's happening everywhere. So there it is. First-time buyers are said to be driving residential boom, but that's not what the data shows. First-time home buyers are not, unless they're foreign investors coming in and buying in Canada for the first time, yes. Canadian real estate is a melt-up and little chance of stopping it by spring. It could be a melt-up. We already discussed melt-up maybe 8 times on this channel in 8 different occasions where housing just spiked so much, where last month, I think in Vancouver, houses went up $40-something thousand. USA real estate is back on top of the list for Asia buyers, Canada 4th. So there it is. US real estate is once on top spot for Asian buyers. Let's just correct that. It's Chinese. And Canadian real estate prices rise by tens of thousands last month. So that's it. This week's top stories: bank sees Canadian real estate bubble risks soar, while other countries move to cool markets. New Zealand's moving to cool market. England is trying something; it's not going to work. There's all kinds of countries out there. South Africa's trying to cool their markets down too. Jamaica's trying to cool off their markets too. It's really tough. Canadian households add $110 billion to mortgage debt. So there it is, more and more billions of dollars being added to mortgage debt, especially if it's second mortgages. People are using their homes as ATM machines. Canadian real estate prices have synchronized, meaning the bubble risk just soared. Woo! Hold on, we need Ric Flair. I'm Ric Flair.
Ric Flair!
All man.
You're talking about all man.
All right, so this is some good news coming out if you're living in Toronto. Fantastic news for people living in Toronto. This tiny yellow house just sold for $1.46 million in Toronto. That's going to need a redo. It's going to need everything. It's going to need new stairs. It's going to need a new door. It's going to need a new screen door. It's going to need new windows. The roof looks decent, but the gutters look old. It's going to need a bit of work. Picture this. You miraculously win $1 million on a lottery ticket. You could finally buy your dream home or maybe a decent-sized family home somewhere in the suburbs, but you still can't afford this tiny house in Toronto that just sold for $1.46 million. Oh, where's my clapping? $1.46 million. That's like 1.05. 1,050,000 American. That's 1 million. I want to see if Lord Humongous wants to buy this house. We could get, well, it's sold. So he's got to buy it for 2 now. It's sold for 1.4. He's got to buy it for 2. So Toronto's done. So, yeah. What's going on here? GDP dipped 1% in New Zealand for the last three-month quarter. Of course it's going to drop. I mean, don't get me wrong. The house is like, it looks like it's in okay condition. But to be realistically with, like, I mean, I could buy this thing 5-hour drive out of Toronto for about 77, maybe 60 grand. That's the thing. You're not getting bang for your buck in these cities, and everyone's working from home. So someone's going to have to tell me why this is happening. Like, if you could work from home, there's no more, like, actual jobs out there unless you work in the service industry. Everything else is from home. It's remote. So why the hell would you spend, I don't know. Imagine you put down 20%. You know what your mortgage payments are like $5,000 a month on this thing. So anyways, let's move on. This state has the least affordable. So let's move on to the United States of America. This state has the least affordable housing market in the U.S. based on income, and it's not California. So you thought, no, it's Amerifornia. There it is, home affordability right here. So Washington State is up there, is severely out, and so is, what is this one here? Hold on, let me see. Oh, they don't let me open this full. Oh, I want to open this full. I think it's, look at Texas. So where is it? Nevada, Arizona, 33%. So the cost of new homes has certainly become a major concern for many home buyers in today's market. The COVID, they don't say that foreign investors are coming and scooping up their country. They just go ahead and say that it's not, right? The least affordable state by this measure was not necessarily the most expensive housing market in the country, but Vermont is the least affordable state. Only 16% of households could afford a mortgage payment on the median price of a new home, which costs roughly $476,000. There you go. And let's go back here. And we'll go here. And there it is right there. There is your... I wanted to show this to you guys. Let me see if I could open this on full screen here. You can't see it. So there it is right there. This is from 2020 right now. Top 10 United States locations inquired by Chinese buyers. So 2020, Seattle. So Seattle's been the top in the United States because of the foreign buyers tax that was put into Vancouver in 2017. Then Los Angeles still, Orlando, Irvine moved up. Houston is off the list in 2020. New York is still where it's at. Boston is switched with San Francisco. Houston is back down here. So I thought Houston was gone. San Jose is moved up the list. San Francisco is moved down the list, and Dallas just got added to the list. Dallas was never on here before. So you see what's happening. Amerifornia is coming. Amerifornia is real. And Amerifornia, at least I'm not going to get the credit for it. Been talking about it since the new president-elect. Since the new president-elect Joe Biden came in, they basically, I basically called it, and I said this is going to happen right now. They're going to put their housing on GDP. Their GDP is going to be based off housing. They're probably going to go off, start hindering off the oil reserve and become more of a country with less exporting and more real estate, selling it to the wealthiest people. So let me see who else is on here. People commenting. Lots of people. Lenny Pooh in the house. Mr. In Between in the house. All kinds of people. Mitch Madden in the house. Ed. Okay, so that's that. Let's keep going on. So that's what's happening right now. This state has the least affordable, and it's not California. So this one's coming out. Exodus from the Northeast continues to hit Central Florida and Tampa Bay. So who is exiting from the Northeast? Well, it's going to be real estate agents in Central Florida and Tampa say pandemic continues to drive home buying. Again, they're always going to blame everything but the real situation that's happening. Housing affordability is getting out of control. And a lot of it has to do with empty homes. Empty homes, money laundering, shadow flipping, shadow mortgages, all kinds of Mickey Mousing, right? New data from Orlando Regional Realtor Association shows an inventory 50% in February versus last year, and report mirrors the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, where inventory in January dropped almost 60% on a year. See, the medium sales grew 12% from February 2020 to 280,000. Wow! So the prices in Florida, in Central Florida, are up to 280,000 now. Holy, remember when we started talking on this channel, you could buy something for 120 in Florida? Frig, it went up to 280 already. The number of new listings decreased by 15%, so that's driving up the price of homes supply, right? And obviously the shortage of supply drives up the demand and the pricing goes up. And listings spent an average 52 days on the market until it dropped 10% from February 2020. So there it is right there. Holy crap. All right. Houston, housing market hot despite COVID. Again, everything's going to be COVID related. It's not going to talk about housing affordability in other states because they're going to bring unaffordability to other states of America. So nearly after counties began issuing stay-at-home orders, making your home comfortable for both work and play has never been more important. It's got a whole lot of Houstonians looking for more room, and the Houston housing market is hot, so it is a good time to buy, or is it a seller's market? We've been scrolling through the housing apps, and we know you have to. Action 13 is there to get you some answers. So there it is right there. 30-year low mortgage rates have been 2% to 3% for many. For many are driving demand, and COVID is not stopping buyers, maybe just changing their needs. So what's happening is in the United States, there's so many big cities you could move to. In Canada, we're very limited where we could be. And it's a major issue in Canada, what's been happening. Could the biggest result of pandemic stimulus and low interest rates be higher house prices in Australia? Right now, Australia, you know how much this house is in Australia? That's like $4 million, $5 million bucks. I mean, like 3.1 million American dollars for that house. I don't even have to look at it. I already know what it's valued at if it's in the Sydney CBD. $1 million, that was the median price for established house in Sydney in the last 3 months, 2020, up from $950 for the first 3 months of the year. Median established home prices. So here it is. There it is, 2020 December. It's just passed, and thing is here too. New Zealand's just passed $1 million there in their money, right? The latest residential prices index, which includes both houses and apartments, showed strong growth in the last quarter of 2020, with Brisbane residential prices growing faster than in those 3 months than in any such period over a decade. So here's the problem with that. Are wages going up with that? No, wages are nowhere near. Wages are nowhere near. There's housing finance, housing prices. So Australian house prices and housing finance annual growth. More and more people are financing as house prices are just sitting there. And monthly housing finance annual growth, this is per year. And look at January 2021. Holy smokes. And then before COVID showed up, this is before COVID, this is 2018. You started to see a correction in the Australian markets. In the tail end of 2018, at the beginning of 2018, there was a major correction in Australian housing. And then COVID hits. COVID. And look at that. The market turns around. There's January 2020, and housing's been taken off since COVID hit. Oh yeah. You know what that means? You know when housing is going down, then COVID comes up. COVID comes up, and there's a mass pandemic, and so many people are getting sick. Do you know what that means if housing quadruples or doubles in price? Right here.
You're talking about all man.
All man. All man. That's what you're talking about right there. 1.06 million Sydney house prices hit new record high. This is last week's article. I wanted to bring it up again if you're living down in Australia, but they've shot up since then. In the month of February alone, Sydney's house prices shot up 2.5%, rose the fastest in all capital cities. There it is right there. There it is. So if you go back to here, you see here, this is pre-COVID. Look at this, pre-COVID. Pre-COVID. Look at that, pre-COVID. You know what that is?
You're talking about all man.
All man. So you see this right here? Look at this. This is pre-COVID right here. COVID hits right here. And then this is pre-COVID 2018. Prices are making a correction, and then COVID hits. You know what that is?
You're talking about all man.
That's all man right there. That's exactly what that is. Thank you.
Ric Flair!
Look at it right there. So before COVID, prices were making a correction in Sydney. COVID hits, prices go back up. Makes no sense. It makes absolutely, the fundamentals are not working here. We got Dominic in the house. Dominic in the house. He's telling me, you know, none of the fundamentals are making sense in these markets. The stock market, it's all over the place. People are gambling and all that stuff. But, I mean, but then I go back to him and I say, look at the housing. Look at pre-COVID. Look at the housing in Sydney pre-COVID, 2018 into 2019. Then you go into January, February. Look, right here, January, February. Let me go to full screen so you guys can see that. You go into January, February 2020, COVID hits. Look at that. Look at housing. Look at that. Look at that. So they stopped this from happening by creating an emergency. You know what that is?
You're talking about
all man.
All man.
So that's what's happening. I ain't kidding with you guys. This is for real. The housing market, and I did a ton of videos to support this downtrend in Australia, saying finally we're seeing a correction. We're seeing, you know, something is coming. You know, people, so many homeless people, so many people being pushed out into homelessness, so many families sleeping rough, food banks, there's more food banks than McDonald's restaurants. What is happening here? We thought Australia was going to fix itself in 2019. Yeah, we did. We did. And then after, this hits right here. This hits right here. Pandemic hits around right here. We're thinking, hey, you know what? This is going to keep going down. But no. Pandemic hits, prices skyrocket. And since finding the floor in October, Sydney home values have risen 5.7%. There you go, from October right here. Right here. So there it is right there, guys. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what has happened. And that's what's happened. So money printing, people are talking about lots of money printing. So there it is right there. I just kind of want to share this. So right there, there's your graph right there to show you what's going on.
The surge in Sydney house prices has financial regulators considering a clampdown on risky lending on property.
A risky lending. Hey, risky lending? That's racist. There's no such thing as risky lending. You give money out to people, even if they can't afford to buy it. You got to make your quotas. You got to make your what do you call it, bonuses. Who cares? And that's what the attitude has been. After the Royal Commission in Australia started sniffing around a few things, all they did was this is the banking industry. All the Royal Commission did was take their finger and scratch the surface. That's all they did. They didn't even go in. Do you know what they found when they scratched the surface with the bank and bad books, bad underwriting, shitty deals? It's been going on a long time. And guess who gets to pay for it? The average citizen in Australia is paying for this.
New data obtained by 9 News shows the extent of the boom, with a number of suburbs recording 100% clearance
100%
rates at auction.
So there it is right there. Look at these auctions.
Property, Sydney has a new talking point, auction frenzy. Homes surging well past
Look at that. That thing is like $2-3 million bucks.
their reserve prices. Crow's Nest, $900,000 above.
900,000 above asking. 900,000 above the asking price. And the asking price for this thing in Australia is probably $2-3 million bucks for that thing right there. Let me go to full screen so you can see that. That thing right there. That's about 2-3 million. That thing right, not this, that's the neighbor. That's the neighbor. That right there is about 2-3 million to start. And that's how it works. That's how it works. And don't you ever forget that. Let's move on. UK. Now, what does the UK have in mind for housing to get the housing fixed? UK help to buy homeowners could face a £32,000 interest repayment increases. So the new, all right, let's pause this here. The new Equity Loan UK to help buy H21 scheme, which aims to give first-time home buyers a leg up onto the housing market, could have people with as much as £32,000 in interest repayment increases. So a lot of people have been getting the first-time home buyer loans. There it is right there. And we talked about this where England was doing interest-only mortgages, where you're just doing interest only. England was doing 110% loan to value. So they were giving 100 to 110% loan to value on a mortgage. So if you qualified, they gave you more than what the house was worth, which was really crazy. And there it is. UK helped to buy. So there it is. They're going to start adjusting interests, and people are going to be paying back. In America, first-time home buyer loans work like this. You apply for it to see if you qualify and your family qualifies. You get approved through the federal government. Okay, then it gets sent down to the county, like the county or the, like, not the state level, but the county in your county area. They find a bank that could arrange the mortgage for you. Now, if you stay in the house more than 2 years, you don't have to pay back the first-time home buyer's loan. That's how it works in America. I know that's how it worked for someone that I know that lives in Tucson, Arizona, did that. And I know someone else that did it in Nevada. And I know someone that did it in Texas, and they were very successful with it. They stayed in their house longer than 2 years, and they're still in those homes. And, yeah. So what happened was a lot of the people basically are in those homes, didn't have to pay back. Now, in the UK, Canada, I don't know about Australia, but in the UK and in Canada, if you get a first-time home buyer's loan, you got to pay it back. You have to pay it back with interest. So they're giving money to people who already can afford to get into the market, so they could get into the market, so they could pump up the housing markets. And when your housing is 85% of your GDP, you're screwed. So hold on a sec. You know what that is?
You're talking about all man.
All man. All man right there, right there. So you're getting screwed real good. So if you took out those first-time home buyer loans in England, be very careful, folks. Please check with your lender. All right, the great leader. New Zealand's central bank is being asked to tackle housing crisis. So it looks like the government's not going to get involved anymore. It's going to actually start asking the banks to do. The duties of central bank are ever expanding. Lender of last resort, financial regulator, microeconomic manager, affordability housing agency. That's it. You heard it here first, folks. New Zealand is now getting the central banks to tackle housing crisis. You know what they're asking or what they're hinting the central banks to do, right?
Ric Flair!
No, it's not Ric Flair. You know what they're asking the central banks to do? To lower their rates. And let's look it up. Let's go into the archive of the channel. This channel, our channel here, it's got a lot of good archives. And let's find it. Let's find it on our channel. Negative. According to the books, according to, let's see if we could find it here. Right here. Let's go on full. There it is. This is from 5 months ago. I've been seeing the patterns. I've been seeing the numbers. I've been seeing the graphs. I've been following negative rates coming to New Zealand. I'm thinking like the worst off country right now with supply and demand, population, the whole demographic issue what they have with foreign investing. The country's turned into a nation of renters, and negative rates are coming to New Zealand, and I put my name on that one because I know New Zealand's going to be one of the first countries to go into negative rates. That's the only way. So what the great leader of New Zealand is saying here in this, she is asking for banks to tackle the housing crisis. So the only thing banks could do is maybe work on some consolidation loans for people and refinance them and lock them into a better rate and maybe lower their monthly payments so they could buy food, so they don't have to be so dependent on food banks. That's the only thing I think makes any sense. Like, I mean, and then going into negative rate territory. So, wow, we got a lot of, guys, if you're into Bitcoin or something, please, come on to the channel live. Like, there's a lot of people. It's a big Bitcoin discussion here in the chat, which is pretty good. But that's pretty cool. So there it is right there. New Zealand Central Bank is being asked to tackle housing crisis. We know why. We know what they want us to do. IMF warns unsustainable rise in New Zealand house prices could trigger a correction. What does a correction mean? Our house is going to go to where wages are? So this is what the IMF is saying, that New Zealand's unsustainable house prices could trigger a pronounced correction. The International Monetary Fund warned in its staff report on Friday. The country's success in managing COVID has enabled a faster economic recovery. This is all BS right here. Than other countries, but a slew of monetary and physical stimulus measures has supercharged the property market values. IMF's warning come as median prices for residential properties across New Zealand rose by a record 22.8% in February, according to the latest statistics from the the Real Estate Institute of New Zealand released on Thursday. So there it is right there. So IMF is warning. And what do we got here? Snapshot from 1975, Auckland's market and now. So there it is. There's Auckland right there. $20,000 buys you a home in 1975. The average income at that time was $125 per week. 1975. There it is, 1975. Look at Auckland. Let's go into full... Yeah, we're in full view here. Oof, new highway. Now it's all about building, man. Build. All right, let's go into some market news. Let's get a caller on. Let me call Owen. Let's see if Owen picks up his phone. He's out in Eastern Canada. I kind of want to talk to him a bit about... Pick up, Owen. All right, Owen's not picking up. I kind of wanted to ask him to comment on what is happening there. Kind of wanted to. I would like to get Steve the plumber on too. I want to get him on it. It's been a while since we had Steve on the show. Where is him? Steve the plumber. Kind of want to ask him where he's at with things and what's going on. And TJH says he needs help to get back to the year 1985. Well, you need 1.1 gigawatts of power. You need to, yeah, I don't know. Was it 1.1 gigawatts? Gigawatts? I can't remember. Okay, so here it is. Australian markets are open right now. The alt words down 13.9, sitting at 7,034. The ASX 200 down 17 at 6,777. Oil down 4 cents, sitting at 64.56 a barrel. Gold up $23, sitting at 1,750. Bitcoin is at 75,000 Australian dollars. It's up 2,745. What else do we got here? The Nasdaq closed 50 points up, sitting at 13,202. The FTSE over in the UK is at 6,762, up 40.94. The Dow Jones closed 189.42 up, sitting at 33,015. The Hang Seng over in Hong Kong is up 6.43 at 29,034. And the Nikkei 225 in Japan is over the 30,000 mark. It was at 29,000 last time we did the show, and it is sitting at 30,327, up 412 today. So right now in Japan, the markets are up, everything's up, but more and more people are falling into homelessness, and more people are losing their shirts right now in this crazy market. You know, I'm not gonna brag or anything, but I've been doing okay in the market, selling, taking a bit of profit here and there, taking my time, trying to be as patient as I can. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know where things are going. I really don't know what to say. You know, housing, I've predicted the housing should have corrected. That housing should have corrected at least 3 times by now since 2010. It never did. It never corrected. I did not know, and I've never fathomed in my life, that the federal governments of all these countries are basically going to prop their economies and GDPs off of real estate and selling to the highest bidders. I never thought, never in my life would I have ever imagined that they would have used real estate as a weapon against us and buying us out of our own markets. I would never imagine. That's why I was wrong. And that's why housing can't go down. The people that left the city, like I kept saying, get the hell out of the city. I still get emails every day from people from all over the English-speaking world that, oh, I left Dublin when I saw that video, Mike, you did about Ireland and this and that. I left Dublin and moved to southeast or southwest or south or northeastern middle Ireland or something, and picked up something for a quarter of the price, and now they're doing well. And luckily, with this whole COVID frontline and all this BS, people are having a tough time. People are having a really tough time getting ahead right now. All right, let's see who we got. Who can we get on the show tonight? See who's out there. Everybody looks like they're out. Nobody is available. Wow. I want to get Evan on the show. We haven't had Evan on a while from the McChronicle. I'd like to speak to him. And, Wait, someone's asking if they could call in. It's Amen. Let me see if Amen, wondering if I could call in. Let's see if he picks up the phone. Let's see if he picks up the phone. Let's see if he picks up the phone. No dice. Nobody around. Let me see if there's anybody. Everybody's enjoying the good weather. It's spring. It's nice out. So, Amerifornia is coming, guys. I don't know how to prepare people. I just wish I had more people on my channel so I could warn more people about... Oh, Amen's calling. Yo, Amen.
Oh, hey, Mike. How's it going?
It's going good, buddy. Thanks for messaging me there. So, did you watch the beginning of the show here?
Oh, no. I just got your call. I was just lying in bed. I just came back from work.
Okay, sorry to bother you. I'm just calling because we went over all the housing situation. It's getting pretty dire out there. Housing keeps going up, and we're looking at the charts from Australia, from other cities like Toronto, from everywhere. We're seeing the correction happening in 2019. COVID hits, and everything spikes.
I mean, I think the reason for that, Mike, is the governments keep printing. They had to provide liquidity, right? I mean, if we look, governments did. If they hadn't done CERB, if they hadn't provided, sort of safeguards for the population, I think pretty much everything would have collapsed, right? And so, you basically restricted businesses. So, I mean, theoretically, what the government did, and regardless of whatever your political affiliation is, I think they tried to pump as much liquidity as they could. And then the other thing is people forget people can take out lines of credit, home equity from your property. And so I think that's sort of what caused it. And lowering interest rates, had a huge impact on the market. I can tell you I'm in Surrey right now, and homes are going about 50 to 60% over asking of the assessment.
And Surrey, the average home starts at about $550,000 to $700,000.
No, that was probably 2015, Mike.
What's the average home going for in Surrey now? Average to start before over.
A rancher is now $1 million probably.
Wow.
And
okay,
then,
so I'm way off the ball with that.
Yeah, you're way off the ball. Yeah, I mean it's almost like Vancouver pricing maybe 2 years ago, where I'm being very honest, like a typical bungalow now, like a 2-story home, like in my area now. When you would go around and going into Newton and stuff, and you would show videos, like those houses are all worth like 1.6 to 2 million now. And then like an 80-year-old house in my neighborhood, 2-story house is now selling for 1.3 million.
Now my question is, how does the average person? I guess it's super super rich. I guess
no, I disagree, Mike. It's like here in Vancouver, I would say what it is mainly now. I feel. It's just home equity lines of credit, right? Like let's say you have a house that's paid off, you get, you take out you're able to borrow 85% of your property value.
Mm-hmm.
So you borrowed, let's say your house was worth $1 million, it's clear title. Now it's $850K. Then you put another 100, 200K in cash, and now you got $1 million property. And then, more and more.
Hello?
I was just saying, Mike, I just think for the average middle class, they're fucked in a way, right? Like it's
they're screwed. The person is the first time. Like I don't know if you heard that part. Well, you didn't watch the beginning, but at the beginning of the show, I was saying that I have people that were laughing at me when they were 15, 16 years old. They saw me on YouTube 10 years ago and laughing at me and saying, this guy's an idiot. And then 10 years or 11 years later in 2021, they're like 29 and 35, and they're emailing me saying, holy crap, Mike, I laughed at you 10 years ago, and look, today I have to find a place to live because my mom's moving into an apartment and I have nowhere to live. So this is becoming a major issue because now people that are coming of age to get out of the house or to leave the nest, they ain't leaving the nest anymore. Hold on. I think you're muting the phone by accident. I think you're touching it. You're touching the phone, the mute button on the phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, you're pushing the mute button. Yeah. So what's going to happen with people that need to to leave the nest?
I think ultimately it's going to be more like, how it is in Europe, right? Like where you only leave if you have a solid job or you have solid prospects, and I think you just end up living at home. That's basically it.
Okay. Because when I was 18 years old, everybody on the street was laughing at me because I was still living with my parents.
Right. I mean, I think I think your background's Portuguese, right? Like I remember when my dad first came here, like I'm just being very honest, right? Like the Portuguese community in Squamish, it was very tight knit. They all lived together, and they were immigrants, right? They came with nothing, right? I mean, they just came, hardworking community, and like even the Italians before them, and
then the Greeks.
Or Greeks and whatnot. I'm just trying to say is just in general in Europe, they all lived together. Let's say two brothers, they lived in a house, and then over time, like Trail's a good example of that, right? Folks, immigrant families there, and I think it's the same case here. Like where I've seen it, where now it's like let's say like kids who are white, their parents will live with them, and they'll say, okay, you know what, save up. And I don't blame them, right? Like if you want to rent now, you're going to be paying $1,100 for a basement suite or whatever. So it's it's unfortunate, right? Things have drastically just sort of spiraled out of control. And I think the government's sort of stuck, right? Like they're now, like, even in Merritt, a house is going for 400, 500, 600, like, and someone who's coming from Vancouver, they don't mind paying over asking, right? If they know they have a house. Right.
Yeah. I left for here 5 years ago because it was bad.
Yeah. But I remember when you bought, you bought, I think before 2016, if I'm incorrect, right?
I've been here 5 years this February.
So yeah, you bought before I guess you might have bought before 2016 when the market here in Vancouver went mental. And so, property prices now probably gone up, maybe 50% or 75% higher than what they were in 2014. So, you bought at a great time, and I remember you bought it, you paid cash or whatever, I recall. And I'm just being very honest, Mike, like, now if you were trying to buy, you would have been competing against, 20 other people, right? And that's how it is right now. Like, you're having people willing to overbid, and you're having multiple offers, right? This all ends, I think, in tears, right? But then the problem becomes is the real estate and all these assets are all just inflation hedges, right? Like, the government keeps printing money, and all that's happening is you're just getting money chasing certain assets, right? In your case, Merritt, it's safe from COVID, and maybe that might have had an impact as well. People wanted to be away from the cities, and that's why, downtown's the way it is. And, but like, kudos to you, right? You were sort of one of the first front runners of working in a community. And I remember how much more happier you were when you mentioned versus being in downtown. And
downtown's a nightmare. I like living here. I got my little town stalker. I got the town drama. It's great. Yeah. It's so good. It's like reality TV in real life.
I would honestly say maybe try running for council, right?
I did, and that got ugly real fast, and I dropped out. One of the ladies that was running, if I didn't run, everybody that was running would have been a shoo-in, and They wouldn't require anybody to vote because everyone would have got in. So I joined to run. One of the ladies came in my store and said if I don't drop out, she's going to tell the police that I tried groping her.
But I mean, like,
I got that on camera too. I got that on camera.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, I hope you like had evidence. You know,
I have it on video, but the problem is, you know what the deal is with that is I'm just going to use it going forward as political dirt, right? Why you think the police and the mayors and all the county governors and stuff don't touch some of the mafia figures because they have more leverage on them than you could imagine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you make a really good point. And I think the other thing too is like honestly, you have a good heart, and like all you were trying to do was like, okay, you know what? Like I want to try to bring good vibes to Merritt, and unfortunately, you know, like that's the only downfall of being in a small town, right? Is you got idiots and retards who don't want others to succeed, right? And that's unfortunate. I mean, you have a good heart, you know, and I say that very like I don't really tell that to other people, but you generally are a very good human being, and like I agree with a lot of stuff that you say, and you know, it's like I think you were smart, man. Like I mean, like try moving from Vancouver now, you would have had a harder time trying to compete against offers, and maybe you would have been, you know, saying, okay, you know, let's move to Princeton or whatever. And like the thing with Merritt, at least there's, you know, 20,000 people, and you know the Nicola Valley is going to continue to grow.
It is.
So I mean, you know, good for you. Like, I mean, I tried looking. I don't know if you remember, but I tried looking at that commercial property, and I just had a hard time trying to get financing. I remember back then, about 4 years ago, and you know, like. But it's bizarre. It's like the house I bought in 2012. It's made more money than I have working. And when I feel like your ass like a house makes more money than you will ever working, that's when you know the system's broken, right? Yes. I find it's completely broken because I have a business. I have about like a couple employees, and just realize like, you know, like why like if I had the ability to, I would have said, you know what, fuck working, or screw trying to get a business, and maybe it's smarter to just buy a condo, flip it, or whatever, rinse, repeat, or whatever, right? But it's just the government doesn't, they don't incentivize starting businesses and hiring people. It's just
they don't, because that's going to help the average Canadian, and the average Canadian, it's about competing for. Canada's number one for competing. Well, they fell to number two now. America is taking the wheel now for competing with wealthy investors right now. I just read a report the other day that America is actually printing brochures in Mandarin and Cantonese, and they've been flooding the Chinese markets with brochures, pamphlets. Oh, huge. Like Donald Trump is out. Come in and buy in Illinois. Come in and buy in Wisconsin. Come in and buy Alabama, $100,000 house, you know, and that's going to be disappearing soon.
But I see. But the problem with that type of like initiatives, or it's like real estate's real estate, right? But I mean, the only way you can grow an economy is by generating actual wealth, right? And that's through business and hard work and, you know, initiatives like that, where, you know, I just feel like it's easier for politicians, I feel like, to just sort of sell the land under, you know, the citizens' feet type of thing, right? And that's why, like, honestly, like, I mean, I talked to a lot of the younger employees at work, and, you know, they're making about $50K, and they honestly can't afford condos or anything. So it's I don't know. I just think like it's just gonna all it's doing is just leading to rising inequality, right? That's sort of the fundamental problem that I see. And I think eventually you're going to get more politicians who are going to sort of cater to that too, right? Like, I mean, I think it's easier to like say, hey, you know what, we're selling the country under our feet, you know, and I think you're going to get a populist type of politician who might play on people's fears or racism or what. I'm not implying any political party is racist or anything, but I think it's easy to like then sort of mention that, right? And I don't blame people too, and you know, they can't sort of live that same lifestyle they did as kids, right? Or if there's not even a shot, then you know the whole system's fucked. Mm-hmm. But I think even in Merritt, I remember back in 2016, lot prices were like $50K. Now people are asking $100K. So it's like, I mean, I don't know what it's now, but I mean, it's almost like a bedroom community now for Kamloops, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, So, but yeah, I still remember you were having issues with that landlord. Did you end up resolving it, or did
No,
you
she was she was selling the building, so I had to get out.
Okay.
Yeah, she sold the
Oh, you had to
building,
get
so I
out.
had to get out after I fixed the
Oh.
building.
Fuck. I mean, you put in so much money too to fix it up. See, that's where like commercial is such a it's a lot more easier than residential. You pay a lot more in property tax, but I find commercial, like, all the powers with the landlord's feet. Like, you as the tenant, you're fixing up the place, you're making all these improvements, and then the landlord, because in the commercial tenancy, I guess, like, for the ordinances, there's no stipulation where you can actually where you as a tenant have the ability to say, hey, I can only pay 10% or 5%. It's basically whatever the landlord dictates, right, and whatever you sign to. And so you could be paying $1,000 one year, and then all of a sudden pay like 11,000 or whatever. And so it's like, yeah, I do definitely think, like, certain things need to change, to encourage entrepreneurship. And but how are things at the shop? Like, are you
Busy.
Are you finding
very
getting
busy? After I set up I created an online catalog, and since I created the online catalog, I've branched out to like an hour drive away. Everyone's coming in from everywhere.
Are you selling like hockey cards and stuff?
No,
Like,
no. I sell some Pokemon. I sell Magic the Gathering board games. You know what my shop is
fair
about.
enough. I know there's a lot more demand now for hockey cards. I just ended up buying 2 Gretzky rookies just recently.
Yes, I have a bunch of graded ones. I just haven't gotten to them
if you do get them in, and if you have anything like where it's like PSA or like graded, not like where it's just like a random card or whatever, like, let me know. I'm definitely interested, because I just find, like, now because of COVID, like, all these people are buying stuff that reminds them of their childhood, right? And
Interesting. That's an interesting view on that. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just nostalgia, right? Like, we're, like, even Pokemon, it's like it's focused on, kids who were in the 90s, and then, like, hockey cards are people in their 80s, right? And so, I mean, just a thought for you. I mean, but kudos to you for being able to get the website up and running. And then I was going to tell you as well is, if you're a corporation, the province of BC, they're giving about a $7,500 credit. It's called Launch BC, and you're able to take advantage if you want to upgrade your website as well too. So not a lot of people are aware of that. You just have to do a business plan. It's pretty straightforward, and they pay up to 75%, I think. So if you pay $5,000, they'll give you a $3,500 like rebate.
That's good. I don't really. I'm pretty much set in stone and solid right now with everything. So,
perfect.
But I'm doing good. But I appreciate you putting that out there for other people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think that take advantage. But no, I'm really happy for you, and I appreciate all that you do, and for all the viewers and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to sort of, I don't know, it just seems like the best thing to do right now would be to just invest, just put your money away, or maybe invest in Bitcoin or something. I don't know. I'm sort of clueless. It just seems like, the way that the money is being printed, it's just almost like it's just turning into confetti, right? Like, like sort of like Zimbabwe or whatever. So
it's going to become that event, yeah. Because wages aren't going up anywhere near what housing has gone up. So nowhere near. Yeah. We're talking like 46 times faster than housing. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the wages haven't gone up here in Vancouver, but it's like, I feel like you were smart, man. You took a chance moving to a smaller town, and for a better quality of life. And I remember, like, I mean, you go to downtown right now, and it's a mess, right? There's transients, and there's people breaking into like stores and vandalizing, and it's just a really sad situation, right? Because when you think of downtown, you don't think of all those elements, and now it's like Champs is getting broken into, and it's just, yeah, it sort of blows my mind. So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go. It's been a good 20 minutes talking. We'll stay in touch for sure.
No worries. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, keep in touch. And yeah, next time you're in Vancouver, when COVID is over, come by. Nice to see you again.
Yeah,
And,
you know where I
it's been
am. You know where I am. So come and see me too.
Yeah. I what's it called? Eamon Lally. He lives in Merritt too, and I haven't like once COVID's over, I'll definitely come by and say hello.
No problem.
So, but yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Mike. All
God
right,
bless.
take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, God bless. Bye.
All right. So pricing has gone up actually a lot more substantially than it has in the. I thought pricing was at a certain level in a certain part of the province. I was dead wrong. So we got. Let's just take a quick look here before we get our next caller on. Let me just adjust this. So right here, unemployment drops to 5.8%. As recovery intensifies. The last employment figures have been released. So they're saying that things are reopening. Are things really reopening when more countries are going back into lockdown? No one knows if they're tricking or treating. S&P, so let's go over here. Feds keep zero rate outlook, sees inflation bump as short-lived. Condo corporation, lawyer invests in Bitcoin, lawyer appalled. Condo corporation invests in Bitcoin, lawyer appalled. Okay. Annual pace of Canadian inflation edges up in February. Lockdowns more than double Jackbox games for users. Editor's edition, make sure you're ready before becoming an entrepreneur. Yeah, guys, make sure if you're going to get into something like really putting out a bit of money out there, please be careful. It's hard to make it right now. It's hard to make money right now. So it's easy if you're a homeowner and you got in at the right times in certain things. Biden's Keystone Pipeline halt prompts red states to sue. Yeah, that's in the news right now. And that's going to be a big issue here because this pipeline is going to make a lot of money for a lot of people and a lot of jobs. And this $8 billion Keystone XL pipeline stepping up a legal fight over controversial pipeline that it is extending into third presidential administration. So there it is right there. So not even hours after Joe Biden comes into power, he shuts this right down real quick in a heartbeat, leaving the Canadians stranded, leaving a lot of people stranded, leaving a lot of investors holding the bag, and that created a major issue. All right. Mr. Spanky's in the house. He's late. We got Lenny Poo in the house. Black Ginger in the house. Yo, what's up?
Hi. You hear me good?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm trying to give you some of this update on everything I'm looking at. Yeah, so I'm looking at some of this if you want to pull up the national debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got basically some numbers here. Pull up the national debt clock, right?
It's open.
Okay, so we could go to crypto.
Okay, where would crypto be?
Bottom right.
Bottom right. That's what by the silver and gold, right?
Yeah, like so above. It says
yeah, dollar to crypto.
Yeah, so you're looking at everybody's basically hyperinflated, right? So $1 is divided by 8,700. So 80, right? $1 divided by 8,700. That percent, whatever that, I haven't done the math on that. My calculator, I don't even know if it would. Yeah, so 8,700 to $1. So
okay.
It's the same thing as gold too. So you look at the dollar to gold, right? So $1.
So paper to silver ratio is 187.28 to 1. Mm-hmm. And then we got dollar to gold ratio at 35,323 per ounce.
Exactly.
And look at the dollar to gold ratio in 1913, 28.74. That's actually in line with everything.
Well, even if you compare, so what the dollar is worth compared to when it was 1913.
Right. Well, because that's before we signed. They signed on to the to the whole Mickey Mouse Federal Reserve.
Exactly that too, because
Federal Reserve Act and the Income Tax Act, and what's the other one that and slowly taking Americans off slowly taking them off the gold standard. It wasn't until Richard Milhouse's administration in 1971 took it off, but they already started selling off America.
Right. And you look at the oil. So $1 of oil right now per barrel is 100. Right now, oil per barrel is $121.83.
Yeah, dollar to oil ratio now, and dollar to oil ratio in 1913 was $2.16 a barrel.
And the fact that $121.83 a barrel would mean that we're in an economic terrorist time right now. So that's why they're enhancing surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
They're creating disorganization to basically destroy things emotionally, financially. People are acting straight. People are doing things that don't normally happen right now today, even alone with this guy in Atlanta. If you've seen that today, with him killing a massive amount of people, and then another person was looking for Kamala Harris today with
Yeah.
So basically, this isn't like just something that wasn't planned. This is something that they planned, right?
Look at the U.S. debt clock in 2025. It's going to be almost $50 trillion in debt.
Exactly. The debt clock is moving fast. You got real numbers and nominal numbers. So these numbers aren't even real numbers yet.
Mm-hmm.
These are just automatically generating. You see how they're just moving?
Mm-hmm.
This is just whatever that they can keep up with, because these numbers are not even probably what we really have going on. It's probably worse than this. And once when we start realizing it's worse, then the majority will know, and that will create different disorders. But right now, people aren't looking at these numbers because they're just pushing whatever they're pushing, right? They're pushing everything. They got, each day you have a different something that's going on. So this is just the regular typical. So I just want to look also that you have your U.S. retirees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Social Security liability, right? $21 trillion already. It's only a couple of months. So this has to go out to the 65 million. So you have 55 million retirees that collect Social Security, plus
it's right here.
9.6 million who get a Social Security check because they're vegetables, right? These are the vegetables. Basically, these are the people who are either experimented on, like they're doing with AstraZeneca, right? They're giving people the emergency approval. Meanwhile, they're not knowing that it's not approved. So then when they take it off the market, oh, well, I thought it was approved. No, sorry. It was never approved. We have qualified immunity. That's what they're doing to us, right? They if you go to sue the government, good luck, because the judges are paid by the same people that we pay taxes to, right? Who are paying them. So not going to work. But you also look at people living in poverty, right? People don't even have insurance. Every other country, right? You guys have insurance. I signed, right? I told you in the past when I was attacked from behind by these off-duty police that were actually paid by a private company. So they're getting collected a paycheck twice. I called them the bag. What do you call those? The bagmen, right? They're the bagmen. So they work for the government, right? They're collecting a check, what agencies they're working for. But on the side, they have another job for a corporation, whoever owns this umbrella corporation. There's tons of these guys doing this, right? Because you look at the amount of government employees. So you have 22.7 million people working for the government. Those are guaranteed checks, right? because what they'll do is they just got more money going. The systems, you see the generation here, the money just keeps coming in, right? So these people are guaranteed a job, right?
Yeah.
So those people got to get paid. Now they're getting paid, but they're getting paid on the side. And they're not doing like, they're not avoiding conflict of interest. These guys are going straight at conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys got to get paid, right? Now you have all these people in poverty. So you have 35.9 million plus another 30 million without no health insurance, right? But then what they'll do is they give you Medicaid. So what happened with me was after they beat me over the back of the head, right? Then I had no insurance. So they forced me to go to the hospital because after they set me up and they trumped up charges on me, right? Because I had people chasing after me for their co-workers because they had one job working for a private company. Meanwhile, the other people they work for the government, came after me. So I had charges against me for they said I did graffiti. I don't do graffiti. They say I'm a part of a group. I'm not in no groups, right? But they make this stuff up like it's a joke, right? Then I write to the
Where are they getting their intelligence from?
Oh, well, from the people who were paid by the private company that said they were security guards. Meanwhile, they're not private. They're working for the government, though. So they beat me over the head, right? I had no insurance, so I got to go get Medicaid, right? Like you see, there's 29,000 people, 0.5 with no health insurance. There's Medicare, Medicaid, 77.8 million. Those people, we have to pay for that, right? So that comes out of the Social Security liability, that $21 trillion that has to be paid every year, and the $32 trillion in Medicare costs a year for the total liabilities just on those two people, Medicare and Social Security, is $159.8 trillion.
Whoa.
Exactly. So what they're doing is they're turning people into vegetables, right? Forcing them to Medicaid, 77.8 million vegetables, and they make you sign paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you own anything, like I did, they took it all. They took $20,000 from me right out of my hands. 20 grand for my medical bills that they cost me. So again, so we're back at it again. So that's just the game that they're playing with us, right? So they're just basically, they're giving us money. Like they gave us money, but then they destroy us. Right? Mm-hmm. They destroy us. They just, whatever it is, they'll come up with another reason to crush us. They take their money right back. That's what they did. They forced me to go get Medicaid. And in the paperwork of Medicaid, I basically signed away all my rights without me even knowing about it. Oh, you signed right here, they said. So they took all my money, 20 grand. They took, 20 grand is a lot of money, especially people are living off their savings. I mean, look, what does it say about savings per family, right? Mm-hmm. So we have all this debt. Meanwhile, an average person in the country only has about $25.4 thousand in savings. So these people, if they want, they take 20 grand on average. People, if they're lucky, have 25 grand in the bank account. So they just take all your money. Mm-hmm. Because they say you signed something.
That's a bunch of BS. That reminds me of the episode of South Park when they signed the Apple, when you okayed on Apple. Remember the rights, Google, Apple, do you okay the Apple, use your device for the okay, but they said okay to a lot of other things and they didn't know?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, nothing would surprise me right now. I'm getting back closer with my family on this whole thing. I'm not even. We've already been through this probably so many different times. World War I, World War II. Now we're in World War III, and we don't even see it because it's the blind leading the blind, right? So we're just focused on, let's just give more student loan debt because it's guaranteed, right? The next scam. right? That's the scam. They basically
Yeah, it was the war on drugs back in the 80s during the Reagan administration, and then after the war on drugs became the student loan scandal, and they were creating these overzealous, like, oh, all these baby boomers are going to retire, we don't have enough pharmacists, so they started all these pharmacy schools, and nobody got a job after that. It was absolutely terrible, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk about my thing that they did to me when I was in college, right? So I was in college, right? I was constantly always told that the endowment from the college, all these endowments, they don't pay taxes, right? They have large money. It's the largest. It's like the Vatican Church, right? We all know what's going on with the priests and them being a part of the cults and the Romans and all this other stuff, right? So basically the same thing. Now because I went to a Catholic school, college, and I went to a college, right, that was a former hideout for the 1920 mobsters, right?
Whoa.
So at first it started out like this was the mansion. People were never told that these universities or whatever, well, specifically the one I went to, was what it was, right? Because they tell you the lies. That's what they feed you. Everything's is a lie for them, right? So they had the hideout there. Then guess what they turned it into after that? Because after they find, because the whole story between, people really don't know about the 1920s in New York.
Well, it was the Roaring 20s, right?
It was roaring, all right. Because
No. It was the Great Depression. No. It was the Roaring 30s, right? The Roaring 30s. Am I right? It was the Roaring 30s.
The 30s were like they had the 1933 Act, right? They had a lot of stock manipulation. Everybody got their basically so from what I know from my grandfather's story was that we were extremely wealthy before we came to America, and everything was taken away. They my grandfather and the people who were tricked, everything was taken away, right? The story, like how they went around to collect the gold. So if you had gold at that time, you basically, if it wasn't, if they came probably door to door and they were like, well, we need to collect your gold. We need it. We're running out. We don't have any. So they destroyed people, right? They created a conflict with the Versailles Treaty, and
the Treaty of Versailles,
right? And that was the motivation for them to create a revenge, right? So, right, that's what you're seeing right now is the story of they're saying it's revenge, right? I see what they're doing online. Yeah, I see what everybody's pushing is this. I don't want to say what they're doing. It starts with an A, ends with a Y. Anti. They're creating anger.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happened then, right? So then it created another Mein Kampf, right? Hitler wrote Mein Kampf because they locked him up over it.
That's the worst written piece of anything in the world. It's so terribly written. You have no idea.
And they had the scientists, right? They were doing the experiments on kids.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that right now, but that's fine. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I know where
so they end up what they're doing right now is they're just pissing everybody off, right?
Definitely.
Nobody's. I mean, I can't find one happy person. I can't. I can go, like, say, I went to the barber shop, right? I had to call them in advance. So do I have to wear a mask? Right? It's been a year. We've all been in our house for a year. What do you guys like? Before I go in the store, I call them. I say, do I have to wear a mask in the store? Like, or do I got to walk around like a zombie and put a mask over my face like
Why don't you just tie a boot to your face, like that picture I put up under the community, where they put one mask, two masks, and a boot?
well, well, I know what I want to do. I'm gonna go buy a scary mask, right? The scariest mask possible, and that's what a lot of people are doing. This isn't just something I came up with. This is something that they actually. This is like this is their so to say, like they have a, I guess like it's their entertainment, right? They need their entertainment, so they need to watch you put a mask on, like you know how what Raven had talked about the mask on the Halloween story.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing, right?
That was a good story.
Yeah, that was a good story. It was, and the mask, it's something maybe, you know. I was looking into the story on that one. I was just reading. I've been up. You know, I try to get going in the morning. You know, I've been up since 6 o'clock, so it's been a long day. But you know, I was just watching that one. They were doing this stuff in the 1920s. They were putting these scary masks on, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you watch the opening ceremony of the 2012 Olympics, they put these scary masks on so that they scare other people. That's what they want, right? They want to scare everybody, right, with these masks. And I feel like, you know, when I go in the store, like, and I see these people with their masks on, I really, you know, I do appreciate their like respect for health, you know, right now. And everybody's like, yeah, you know, we need to wear masks. But listen, I can go in front of a guy that they say has COVID, right? Because of all these tests. What are they really testing the right tests? So
well, people are getting the injections, and then after they get the injections, they test positive after they get tested because they're giving them the virus. So,
yeah.
Anyways, listen, I'm going to let you go. It's been 20 minutes. I want to go over a few more stories, okay? We'll talk on Mike in the Night.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll talk on Mike in the Night, and we'll talk about what's going down when it comes to war.
And I just want to say it's better to point out the negatives, right? Because the negatives will multiply a lot more than to point out the goods. Because as soon as we talk about the good, right, what they'll do is they'll pull the rug on us all. They'll destroy the crypto. They're going to come out with this, you know, something. They'll say, oh, we can't have this no more. They're going to destroy something, the yields, or they're going to come up with something. When we think everything's great, they'll destroy us, right? But if we keep thinking about all this, basically the management of the Six Sigma of what's going on, all the crap that they're doing, they can't go buy crap, right? You want to keep doing this. You guys are listening out there, whoever you guys are. They want to buy crap. I got crap for you. You want to buy? I'll take it in a bag and I'll wipe it all over.
You're talking about
and buy it. That's where we've been at.
Oh man,
going back there. Mm-hmm. All right, so they're listening. I know you're listening. You want to buy my crap? I got it for sale. $1 million NFTs of my poo. All right. I love you guys.
Have a good one. God bless.
Right. Bless.
Bye. So he was talking. This is what he was talking about.
you're talking about all man.
Oh, yeah. That's all you're talking about. All right. So there it is right there. Let's go over a few articles here I want to just touch on. Japanese regulator says a TEPCO nuclear plant prone to attack. So what is going on? Japanese nuclear regulators said on Wednesday that the world's largest nuclear power plant owned by utility behind the Fukushima nuclear crisis will not restart anytime soon due to serious holes in the anti-terrorism measures found at the facility. What the heck is going on? I'm telling you, energy is going to go up, guys, a lot, real fast. Top China chip makers gets government fund for $2.4 billion plant. Interesting. Bloomberg, Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp will build a $2.35 billion plant with funding from the government from Shenzhen, the first major product to emerge from China's master plan to match the U.S. in advanced chip making. So Beijing is moving swiftly to cut the dependence on the West for crucial components like chips, an issue that became more urgent after the global shortage of semiconductors worsened during the pandemic. Washington has also blacklisted major Chinese tech firms from including SMIC, cutting it off from American technology, while severely impairing its ability to produce chip-making gear it needs. So there it is right there. China's moving forward and taking it on their own. And oil steadies below $65 after capping the worst run in 6 months. So U.S. crude inventories expand for the 4th straight week. Oil steadies, so here it is. Oil steadies below $65 a barrel after a 4-day drop, aided by a weaker dollar as traders assess the outlook for the global demand. West Texas Intermediate was at 0.2% lower in early Asian trading following the longest run of losses in 6 months. Prices ended lower on Wednesday after the data showed that the U.S. crude stockpiles topped 500 million barrels, and the International Energy Agency said worldwide supplies are plentiful. So there's lots of oil there. So why am I predicting oil to go up? Well, there's a reason why. Tesla on autopilot drives into a Michigan Troopers patrol car. Lansing, Michigan, the U.S. government's highway safety agency sent investigators to Michigan for a second time in less than a week to investigate an accident after authorities said a Tesla on autopilot crashed into a state trooper's patrol car early Wednesday. So neither Michigan police trooper nor the 22-year-old Lansing man who was driving the Tesla were injured in the 1:10 a.m. crash on the Interstate 96 in Eaton County, police said. So what is going on? Are more of these surprises going to be popping up? Is that going to affect the Tesla stock? And Biden's Keystone Pipeline halt, we've talked about this early, and Japan temporarily sets higher tariffs on U.S. beef imports. So there it is. We're going to be, if you're living in Japan, you're going to be paying a lot more from beef coming from America. Tokyo Routers, Japan is temporarily raising tariffs on U.S. beef imports as volumes have exceeded levels agreed to between the two nations for the fiscal year ending on the March 31st, Japan's Agriculture Ministry said on Wednesday. From Thursday, the tariff will rise 38.5% from 25.8% for 30 days through April 16th, marking it the first time the safeguard measure has been imposed on U.S. beef imports since August 2017. So that's that right there. So there's lots happening in the markets. Let's look at some of the stocks we're talking about. I wonder if Dominic is watching. Maybe he could give us a little bit of input on what is happening with Tellurium. He's got a lot of inside information. He's upsetting a lot of people on the stock talk. Let's see if Dominic picks up. I'm not sure if he has his phone on. But it'd be nice to get him on the show to find out what is happening with Tellurium. Oh, he's not online. Okay, he is not online. Okay, I wanted to find out what was happening with Tellurium. Let me see who else we got on here. We have time for one more caller. Let's see if we can get somebody on the show here. Just go in here, see if there's anyone that wants to add me on Skype. Who is out there? Nobody's out there tonight. Everyone's enjoying the nice weather. I don't blame them. We had a long winter. Well, not a long winter, but it was short and cold for where I live. So, Ed is saying human-blamed climate change is wrong. William Beaumont is saying, liar, liar, pants on fire. Terry Tony is saying, Jesus is meat indeed. He's fattened up on food. Do you know about that? Papa Piss is saying, Alan, we can watch the birds from the safety of our living rooms. That's probably talking about the lockdowns that are going on. And that's what's been going down. So Japan temporarily sets higher tariffs on beef. So what other stories we got here? What else is going on? Nobody cares about football. Australia unemployment drops 5.8% as recovery strengthens. That's why I see energy going up. Haunting photo of unaware paramedic walking into a bloodbath. What the heck? A photo from the night of horrific attack that shows the first paramedic on scene unaware of the carnage that lay ahead. Oh my God. Let's see what else we got here. Little known tech behind electric vehicle boom. One of America's most famous investors say that tech is about to hit a tipping point and soon will change everything. Was anything else here worth going over? Worth going over. Oh, this is Australia. That's why markets are still open. Oil's where's oil? Oil's still at 64 a barrel. Let me see what else we got here. What else do we got here, guys? Dow Jones. Okay, what else is open? So the Nikkei 225 still open. It's up 476. It's actually trending higher from when we started the show. So that's doing it's still over the 30,000 mark here. All right. So we got Yasmani Youngflow says, great job. Check out my new video. Hope you enjoyed. Hit the like. Thank you. Then we got Ben Savage saying, yes, good protein and our overlords will give him better social credit score. Yeah, that's if you have the Soylent Green, right? Woo! So we got Baron Von Biscuit say, Mike, let's hear a woo. Woo! 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 That's my soundboard to help me out in case I run out of breath. And we got All Man right here.
You're talking about All Man.
Oh, yeah. And that's what's been going on in the markets. So let's look at Sundial's been up. I did pretty good on Sundial. Took a huge loss on Sundial, and it started trending back up. Let's check where. Yeah, there was that big dip. What was it? Yeah, it was almost right there when it went to like 93 cents. I was crying the blues then. It just started upticking and taking right back off. I should have bought more when it went that low. I didn't. I should have bought more. Didn't. But right now it's up 15 cents after hours. Holy smokes. It's up 15 cents after hours. Thank you. That's good to see. So Sundial earners are, it will be a happy St. Patrick's Day for Sundial growers, investors. The Canadian cannabis company reports its fourth quarter results on Wednesday. And that's today. But there is no here. Reports, full year, fourth quarter. Here it is. Sundial reports full year and fourth quarter 2020 financial and operation results. So completed financial restructuring eliminated $227 million aggregate principal amount of debt during 2020, $60.4 million unrestricted cash on hand of December 31st, 2020, $719 million unrestricted cash on hand at March 15, 2021. Gross revenue increased by 10%. Okay. $73.3 million of 2020 compared to the prior year. Okay, that's better. A branded net cannabis sales increased 75% of total cannabis sales in 2020 from 20% in the previous year as Sundial transitioned from wholesale to brand retail sales. And that's why I liked Sundial's, because of that. They were actually going more to retail and branding in different sectors, which kind of gives you more reach, right? General and administrative costs were reduced by 18% in 2020 as a result of cost reduction initiatives to $32 million compared to $38.9 million in the previous year. Committed to $58.9 million in the fourth quarter of 2020 and a further $31.5 million subsequent a year-end in strategic cannabis-related portfolio investments generated realized investment income and fees subsequent to the year-end of $9.3 million. So there it is. There's quite a bit here to read. It continues in a couple of pages. But there it is. The Sundial reports full year, fourth quarter 2020 financial and operational results came out and today. And that's why the stock after hours has went up another 15 cents there. I do have Sundial. I mean, I do have quite a bit of it. I did buy it a couple of times. Overall, I am down, but I am up, like, okay up. Like, I'm not crying the blues right now, but I am up with it. And some people believe the stock is worth 88 cents on a good day. That's all it's worth. But I believe that, the company has a little bit of, it does have a bit of upside to it. If they keep growing and expanding, and I see if they're looking at two other ventures that they're focusing on for Q4 of 2021. it might, you might see a $5-6 stock. Who knows, man? Who knows? It's the sky's the limit, right? Okay, what else is going on here? So we got the comments going on here. Man, we're not getting anybody, man. Let me see if we can get somebody on the show. Dominic is off. We just spoke to a Looney Tunes there. Then we have Steve is thing is turned off. Everybody's turned off. Everybody's out. I don't blame them. It's nice out. I'm not seeing anybody here that we could call, man. We haven't had a Shima on in a long time. She's not around. Oh, Matthew's messaging me. He's asking, you think the vax is meant to have issues until globally only one of the Gateses is used? I don't know, man. Buy shares in Hashpipe. What's Hashpipe? I don't see no Hashpipe here. No Hashpipe. Somebody give me another ticker. Any tickers out there you guys want to throw at me? Let's take a look at a few tickers. Five ultra popular stocks that can... Yeah, no way. So look at this. Look at what they're saying here. That Sundial's an underperforming stock. That's what they're saying here, right here. Underperforming. I think I'm just going to buy more now that I saw that. Because they always, when they come out with these releases, I don't know, man. I just usually go the opposite, and I usually do better. Eccentric saying, stop reading the news, Mike. You will overcome with stress and have a stroke. The mainstream news is meant to cause harm. That's correct, 100%. Dan Centroff says GameStop. Let's look at GameStop. Where are they at? I don't even care, man. Everyone's talking about all this GameStop, and now they're going to start looking at people, investors. Wow, it's at 209. Wow, went back up, didn't it? Recently? Let's look at the last 5 days. Okay, I know it dipped here, just around the 160, 170 mark. Wow. Wow. I wish Dominic was available so he could tell us about how is GameStop, a company that basically, I don't know how they're in business, is staying in business. How is that even possible? How is that even humanly possible? Look at GameStop. Wow. And there's people that are going to jump on the bat, and there's a lot of people that are going to lose. So here it is year to date. Wow. Let's go to the last year so you guys can see. So you got nothing but flatness. So if you go back in time, let's say till March 2020, and just put a ton of money into GameStop, like here, you just keep dumping money into GameStop, and then sell it maybe when it's about, like, I wouldn't sell it at the 325, but I would sell just a little bit lower, like around the 2-something mark, and then buy back here and then sell right about here. Oh my God. You know how much you could have accumulated at $4 a share? Oh, and then it started going up to the... I remember when it was around here, that price. And I don't know. I don't care about GameStop. I really don't care. I just don't... I don't know. I really doesn't, you know... I don't care. I just... Reddit frenzy stabilizes as meme stocks move sync with the S&P 500. So here it is, the meme stocks. Reddit frenzy stabilizes as meme stock moves in sync with the S&P 500. A basket of 50 stocks were placed on a restricted trading list by Robinhood Markets at the height of January's retail trading mania is now moving in the same direction as the S&P 500. The rolling 30-day correlation between the two turned positive last week for the first time since curbs were enacted, according to the data compiled by Bloomberg. GameStop Corp. Shares, the embodiment of the Reddit-induced frenzy, flipped from negative to positive correlation on Wednesday. The return of a positive relationship is one small sign that trading in the shares has returned to some of normalcy, with the macro market forecasts such as surging treasury yields, remember that, and 1.9 trillion of stimulus, remember that, funds flowing into the economy now getting at least a modicum of attention. Still, there's no guarantee that the link will endure. Just look at last week's WISWAP in GameStop shares, which swung between a low of 172 and a high of 348 in a single day. So that's not good. I mean, I don't care about, like, people are asking, oh, GameStop, you got to move in. And, like, I don't care. I really don't care. There's so much money, like, you know, it could be a big distraction, in my opinion, for other investors to look at potentials, right? But the markets, because a lot of people took a hit in their investment portfolios when GameStop did hit above around the $300 mark, because a lot of the shorts had to be filled, and they were calling on the shorts, and that was basically getting investors removing money from bigger corporations that are invested in that are paying either a dividend or something, and that brought down a lot of the other parts of the market and the commodities, and that really screwed things up. Okay, so who is in the comments right now? Okay, we got James Willis, play dodgeball and buy Dogecoin. Black Ginger is saying people do not know the IV baby agenda. Maybe Black Ginger should come on Mike in the Night and tell us what that is. And then we got Matthew Illo says, nice Papa, just putting the pieces together. I think it's still early industry. What are you guys talking about? Layla Leia say, amazing, you'd still ask, Metal. But I won't compare it to a casino. All right, stimulus checks this week. Everyone's getting stimulus check this week. We got Lord Humongous finally jumping in. I know. Lord Humongous has been doing God's work. He's been working hard, and he's been doing the right thing, from what I've heard. So that's a good thing. Let's see. We got 18 minutes left, guys. See if there's anybody we can get on. I just don't know who's out there. Wants to talk about housing, finances, jobs, money, unemployment. There you go. AMC soars 20% and plans on reopening 25% of theaters this week. So there's AMC right there. Let me just check out their share here. Yep, it's up. It's up 52 cents after the market close right there, after market close. So there it is. It's peaking up. Let's look at it for the last month. Yeah, it's been trending upwards last 6 months. And then there's the peak right there. That's on January. You know what happened then? It went up to $19-20. And there it is right there. Could it be the right time? I mean, could this thing, like, let's look at the last 5 years. It did do well in 2016, and then even without COVID or any, it just started to go into the teens. It just started to get wrecked. It started getting wrecked way before COVID. So I don't know if the theater business is going to do well. What is good? They say it's underperforming here. It's Holt underperforming. Dorico's calling in. I hope he's not going to call in to swear. Hey, Dorico, what's up, buddy?
Hey, baby. How is everybody on tonight?
Good. You're the last caller. You got 12 minutes left. What do you want to tell us, buddy?
All right. So,
without swearing.
What's that?
Without swearing.
I'm trying very hard not to, but you'll find out when the giggle ends why I'll swear. Okay. So as you dive deeper into the rabbit hole of getting actually certified into Bitcoin, you want to get something called Corda certification. It's a simple programming language. And you'll find out that there's something called digital asset holdings. And it was registered in 2016. And who created the collateralized debt obligations? Does anybody know in the room right now?
I think Raven would know, but he's not here.
Oh, I'm not trying to do the Fs. No, not the Bitcoin gods. All right, no more suspense. Blythe Masters, as if anyone would like to look her up. She created the collateralized debt obligations that basically blew up last time. Well, now she is in the digital asset holdings section. Oh, this is going to be so awesomely bad, baby. There was a interview with my top pick for who Natoshi is. But after finding out the Blythe Masters, I think it's all a big con by this god. So once again, baby, that was it. The Corda thing. Look into that one. Super cheap for the kids, and it's really easy to go. Oh, there's something called the Digital Service Act in the EU. It's coming.
Yes, I heard about that. Explain it to us.
Oh, basically, it is what is going to be quote-unquote legal and not legal in all of the EU adopted regions. And then there is going to be the Digital Markets Act. And that's the next one following up that. Oh, the new buzzword, federated learning.
Ric Flair!
Oh, what else was there? Yeah, I'll just get off the phone. You're tired, baby.
Keep going, keep going.
Oh, all right.
I hear
there's
you
something called
ruffling
a
through some
radio-
papers there.
Oh, it's because I'm trying to. There's a radio talking program for a living. It's called. Yeah, type that one in. There's something called vicarious liability, and you can run to noagendastream.com.
No, is it good?
Yes, because that they do what their setup is, right? Mastodon servers and RRS feeds, if you understand how those things work. But they have a business model. What is there also? Oh, there is, if you... that was with Larry Lessig, and he's a Harvard law professor.
Woo!
Some bigwig too. I'll let you all go.
All
Good
right,
night,
God
everybody.
bless. We'll talk, D. Stay out of trouble.
I don't want to be. It was called buffer bloat. And that is what's going to happen next to the major infrastructures.
What's buffer bloat? Because everyone's saying I'm buffering right now.
Buffer bloat is basically the punch and unpunch of data packets into the TCP/IP stack that Windows hasn't updated. But if you're using like a Linux BSD, it was updated a long time ago. It has an entire thing to do with, give me a word. Oh, shiza, went too far. Yeah, I'm analyzing latency of sparse flows. No, I'm on the wrong algorithm, dude. Yeah,
You're lucky,
I'll let
dude.
you go. It was adapting small queues for the IEEE 802.11 networks.
Okay.
In the end segment. That's why you want to carry those old end segments if you still have them.
I have all my stuff is good. Hey, guys, am I still buffering? Because I'm moving real nice here on my side. I'm moving at 3,300 kilobytes per second. I'm flush green. I got no. It's got no, what do you call it, spikes or no declines. It looks like it's good on my end.
Yeah, like I say, that's once again, I'm just a little dude going crazy on the internet now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not allowed to surf, so I guess we're now surfing the internet. Anyways, guys, I'll let you go. Good
God
night.
bless, buddy.
Baby, love.
Bye. That is D in the house. I thought I probably just got I think no, it was somebody else that just got out of jail. Okay, anyways, guys, we are wrapping it up. I appreciate everybody coming on the show. Computer nerds are jocks. I'm just trying to see what the comments are saying here. Buffer duffer. Am I buffering for real? Because I have to install BSD Unix. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it looks like apparently, but I'm not buffering on my end. So there we go. All right, guys, one last channel plug. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come out here and being on Commonwealth for Common Folks. All right, guys, don't forget to... I'm going to leave you guys the link for the next Mike in the Night. If you guys want to come on the Mike in the Night next week and you want to call in, there it is, Mike in the Night next week, and it is Smell of War. We're going to be talking about war. We're going to be beating the war drums this Saturday. I think man, I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it, just some of our old videos here. Guys, don't forget to send me your show tips on Instagram. Please send me your show tips on Instagram if you get a minute. If there's something you want me to read or look at, send it to me here on Instagram. And then I got people sending me stuff on Facebook. Mike, they are doing money laundering here. So I got a message and a half. I can't see that. That message is huge. All right, I'm going to have to look at it later, but I can't see that message. So they're doing money laundering here. There it is there. Guys, pick up something off of Teespring if you guys want to support the transmission. Also, artbydano.com. And I use artbydano.net.com doesn't work for me, but artbydano.net, not your typical art. Check it out. Lots of cool stuff. One of our local supporters. And music by ralphie.co.New Zealand. And we got also Peter Leeds. I want to thank Peter Leeds. Peter Leeds. We're going to get him on Commonwealth for Common Folks to kind of go over this case-by-case scenario economy we are dealing with right now. What the heck is happening with it? And let me just crank it up here a bit.
Against the walls of hell, we're Commonwealth for common people.
So this is the book. We'll be giving this out
Through community, Mike Martin's
autographed copy of the book.
So our enemies, through knowledge we rebel. Common people, Commonwealth for common people. Commonwealth for common people. Commonwealth for common people. Talking mountains rose in the distance when we were expecting white and pearly gates. With Mike, we tell our stories, share our trades, and housing, and stocks, and all the things that we all make.
Next week, we'll get Mitch Madden on.
Through his show,
We got Mitch Madden saying prices of going through the roof, going through the ceiling there in Oregon. We'll get Mitch on next week if he gets some time. We'll try to get Lord Humongous on just outside of Denver there in Colorado. We'll get him to call in what's going on in his neck of the woods there. Infrastructure is 30 years behind, says Craig Cook. Infrastructure's way behind. Anyways, guys, I'm going to sign out. I'm tired. Thanks for watching, guys. And please take care. And if you can't take care, please stay safe.